Okay, lovely. Welcome everybody. I'm Tammy Bucks and I'm leading you today in this Radiance Wellbeing journey. Today is the 5th of 6 classes, and today we're going to be talking about the art of allowing, which can also be called letting go, surrendering, releasing. So it's interesting that basically, when we talk about allowing, we're becoming aware of any resistance that's inside us. And so it's almost like we get rid of the resistance and the allowing happens on its own. So when we notice resistance in the body, the mind, the emotions, we have a way of clearing that all out. And if we just surrender and let go, then that creates space for anything, and we let go of anything that's not serving us for our best and highest good. And then that creates the space that we can just be very buoyant and floating like on the surface of the water and allowing ourselves to be carried downstream. So when you're on a river, if you're paddling upstream, it's a hard job, right? If you just let go of the oars, and the boat will just flow downstream the way it's meant to. And so that's what we're going to do in the practice today. And so there will be obviously the physical movements. We'll do some breath work. And I didn't have time to do Breathify last week, so I will bring that in today. So let's start with the regular comfortable seat. And again, kneeling, cross-legged, however that's good for you. I'm going to do a little bit of stretching, and then we're going to start with the breath of fire today because it's a little bit cool and it'll be nice. Breath of fire is energizing, but it's also it's this release that you get at the end of it. So that's the aim. And so as we make the hips heavy, the legs heavy, and feel for that lengthening of the spine from the tailbone to the crown of the head. We tuck the chin in, crown is up towards the sky, and just lightly bring the shoulders up, back and down. And however the hands feel comfortable, I always say it can be in your lap, on your knees, palms up, palm down. You come into the present moment and start to breathe. Notice the breath. Notice the temperature on the skin. If your eyes are closed, is there any shapes behind the eyes? Is there a faint scent in the air, or the smell of your own skin, hair? What can we hear? Is it white noise, my voice? Maybe cars driving by. The texture and the taste in the mouth. So tapping into the 5 senses, coming into the present moment. And there will be thoughts that come and go, let them come and go. There'll be to-do lists, rumination about the past, thoughts about the future. Allow them to come. No need to criticize or judge, just allow them to come and then allow them to fade away. That is part of letting go of resistance. Let's not resist those thoughts. Just be aware of them. Allow them to flow away like a leaf on a stream. And we notice the breath. We notice the heartbeat. Tap into that quiet, calm silence in the room. Excuse me. The quiet, calm stillness in the body. The feeling of noticing any resistance and just allowing it to arise And as you notice it, just allow it to fade away. Noticing the ease that is the opposite of resistance, and tap into that. Ease in the mind, ease in the body. Now we gently, gently open the eyes. Just feel the difference in when you left your car, walked in the door, and how you feel now. Was there resistance when you came in? Where the thoughts were swirling? I have to do this. I have no time for that. Where's the time going? What's the traffic going? Whatever. And come into here, come into present moment awareness, come into the body, come into the spirit. And it's almost like we're letting our guard down. And we're not used to that. We're not used to, we need that guard around us to keep us safe. But here is a safe space and we can let the guard down. So we will come into some shoulder shrugs. So we'll shrug our shoulders to our ears, and then we'll release downwards with a sigh out of the mouth. So I'll just show you. So you can start whenever you like. 5 more. 4 more. Just keep on doing that. Close the door. Keep on going until I come back. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And gently come back to a regular breathing pattern. See how that feels. Is there a little bit more space in the upper body? Is there more space in the chest, in the lungs? Is there an enlivenment, an ascending quality, vitality? Feel into all the feelings. Feel into the tissues in the body, the organs, the breath, the heart, and then tap into the thoughts, the emotions. Was there a clearing feeling? Did it bring anything up for you? And then gently open the eyes. So now we're going to practice the breath of fire. Are you okay, Suzanne, with the knees and everything? Yeah. So what I might do is go a bit closer here, but you guys can still see me, right? So we take our hands and we place them on the belly, just almost the fingers are touching. And so what we want to feel is, we want to feel for that abdomen and the abdominal muscles contracting, and the navel is pulling into the spine on the exhale out of the nose. And the inhale will happen automatically. So you don't have to think about it. It's almost like when you release out of the nose, the softness comes and the air is drawn in. So let's try and just practice this very slowly. I should have told you that if you need any tissues, I'll put them in the middle, because sometimes a little bit of something comes out of the nose. If anyone needs a tissue, just leave it here. And anyone at home, again, if you've got a tissue, please have it close by. One should normally clear the nasal passages before this, but as long as it doesn't get onto anyone. So I'm happy for you to sit anywhere you're comfortable, but I'm just coming up so that the people at home can see me. So we take a breath in through the nose, stomach expands, and then we breathe out through the nose and the stomach contracts. So let's do that once more. And we're going to do 10 of these. 5, 4, 2, 1. Okay, and just release and breathe normally. Just see how that feels for you. There should be some more warmth in the body. The heart should start pumping a little faster. And yeah, please feel free to take a tissue because it does clear the nasal passages. So the breath of fire can be practiced slow, it can be practiced fast. You can go at your own pace and your own rhythm. Would you like a chair, Suzanne? Are you okay? Are you good? Yeah. Knees up is good? Yeah. And you can make it your own. And this is something in yoga, what we do is this should be practiced, generally should be practiced on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. Very enlivening. The reason it's called breath of fire, because it stokes that fire in the lower chakras, which is the root and the sacral chakra, and it builds the fire and starts the metabolism, gets the lymph flowing, gets the blood flowing, the heart pumping. And so if you are game, and if you feel comfortable, because this can make you lightheaded, you could be a little dizzy after this. So we normally do it very quickly and in a round of 30. But what I suggest is if you feel lightheaded or it's too much, go back to the slower version, or then stop and go back to your regular breath. So we're going to do 30 quickly, and let's see how that goes. So the hands are on the stomach, and I'll try and do it and count at the same time. It's not that easy, but I'll do the first few and then I'll count you guys down, right? If you feel like it's just too much, please, again, listen to your body and pull back and go slower. So breathe in. For 15. 20, 30. And now stop and just do your regular breathing. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe out. And now let's just have a quick chat, because this is not to be done lightly, and I would like to make sure that I've got the right feedback from you. Is there a slight lightheadedness, a dizziness? You may want a little bit of just bringing it back down, Let's put palm on palm. Oh, this is in the wrong position. Just what we want to do is massage the heart. I'll move this away so that I can do that. Massage the heart. Keep on breathing. Oh. There we go. And now bring the hands down and massage the belly. Just bring that calm softness back to the body. Tell the body that everything is safe, it's okay. And let's end with just warming up the hands, and let's gently massage the face, however it feels comfortable, like a very gentle, loving caress for yourself. So this is a self-love practice, it's a self-care practice. Very gently caress around the face, the forehead, the cheeks, the chin, maybe even the back of the neck, back of the shoulders, and keep on breathing. And then what we do is we take our hands on our shoulders and we rub up and down. And this is, again, this is a somatic movement to bring safety into the body. Keep on breathing. And so allowing is the opposite of releasing, and there are things that can come up with the release. So please feel free to take a pause if you need it, take a drink of water, lie down if you want to, but we're in our 5th class and I thought we could do something a little more challenging, and then gently, gently, gently just bring it all back. And so I want to make sure that everyone is feeling okay. I know it's a lot in the beginning of the class, but if the release happens early, then we've got a little bit more space to work with and keep on releasing as we go. We're going to stand up. So is everyone okay? Do you think your blood pressure and everything is all right? Okay. So what I'd like to do here is actually want to make sure that you come up very slowly. So if you need to put your hands on your thighs and come up and move any props away. And so we will start with our full body shaking, because again, these are releasing techniques. Once you release, then you allow that space. So feet are hip distance apart. I'm constantly looking down so I know that I'm in the right position for the camera. And soft bend in the knees, a nice long spine, very soft in the rest of the body, and we're just going to shake. Keep on breathing through it. And anytime you need to take a sip of water or something, or just take a break, please feel free to do so. And so what we're thinking here now, because we know that this movement, hopefully if we've done enough of the practice, we know that this has a meaning behind it. What we're trying to do is actually activating the lymph system so that the drainage happens. And again, like beautiful Kathleen, if you want to strike your heels up and down, that's an extra little bit of reverberation in the body. If you want to keep your heels down, if you want to tap, you can make it your own. Do whatever feels good. So if you want to do that, and striking the heels brings that resonance up and it's enlivening. But what we're doing is physiologically, we're getting the toxins out, and we can, through our mind, think that release whatever we need to release, anything that's stagnant, stale, toxic, out of the palms, out through the soles of the feet, through the breath, down into the earth. And so I think I mentioned this before, but I'm not sure. So we are made of the same thing as the earth. Like, we're made of stardust, we're made of minerals and compounds. And so the symbiotic relationship we have with the earth, whatever no longer serves us, it's not in our best and highest good, we can just release it down and the earth will gladly take it. Absolutely. And so where we feel resistance, we're noticing and just letting it flow out of the body. Flow out. It can flow out a little bit. If there's a little bit of sweat, it'll come out of there, out of the breath. And so let's stop the shaking in 3, in 2, in 1, and we go to Wuji, hip distance apart, very sort of long spine. So we're tipping. We just make sure that the back isn't arched and the hands, the palms are facing back, and there's an active pressing down with the fingertips. Chin is tucked, crown is to the sky, and that we stand and see what we feel after the breath of fire, followed by the whole body shaking. Let's get to know what's going on inside the body and the mind. And release. So what I want to do is open up a little of the joints, and then we'll go into the lung clearing. So we'll start with the neck, and let's put our the feet can be a little wider because we're going to be standing for a little bit of time doing the neck and the shoulders. So hands can be on the hips, and we'll do half circles. So the chin is scraping along the collarbone until it reaches the shoulder. And we want to be very mindful of those vertebrae in the neck because they can be very crunchy and delicate. Keep on breathing through it. And then on the next side round, we can make a rainbow with the nose and go over the top, and then just do the half circle over the top to begin with. So we are very mindful not to press the head with the neck back too far. Just allow it to be smooth, flowing, comfortable, no pain. As soon as there's pain, make sure that you stop and change that motion. And then now we can do a few full circles and very gently, very carefully make sure that the attention is on the neck. Do full circles in one direction, 3 times, 4 times. Keep on breathing. And then whenever you get to the middle on the next one, let's go the other way. Let's get that articulation happening in this very, very delicate part of the body. The neck has so many small little bones, and then those muscles that attach to the bones gets a lot of tension. And so let this be the last one. And let's meet in the center. And I learned this at my immersion training the other day, was when we can twist the neck around. And so what we're doing is we do like a circular movement, and then we do lateral flexion, and then, you know, forward and back. But when you look around and you turn your chin and you look behind your back, we're activating the vagus nerve. One of my instructors, she's a trauma-informed trainer, and she was saying that there's an extra benefit of if you turn your head and you look behind your shoulder, that the vagus nerve gets activated, and we create that sense of safety in the body. So let's just, at your own pace, turn and look behind your shoulder, and really with your eyes look behind. And so the vagus nerve helps us to regulate out of fight and flight and back into balance. If we don't have a good vagal tone, we are constantly in hyperarousal, overstimulated, and that is not good for us. We need to have that balance and that downtime. And on the next turn around, make it even, and then on both sides, and then we meet in the center. Let's shake it out. So we're going to do the shoulders, and we haven't done this one before. It's very simple, but we get a really good articulation in the whole of the shoulder girdle. So very stable here, and we just allow the hand to lift up and twirl around, and the full range of motion that you may have. And so, you can turn to look at your hand, and once you've done front to back, you can even take it across the body and create a different angle. Start to feel into your shoulder what feels good. It may be a different angle that you need to stretch. And so we'll do a few in this direction, and then in 3, 2, and 1, then gently we'll move forward. So we're scooping up from the back and coming forward as is comfortable. Another one of my teachers calls it the pain-free range of motion, and I think that is the main thing, that we should never feel pain. There could be a slight discomfort, but not pain. The moment you feel a pain, you need to adjust or change it or stop it. Now, I feel this in my elbow, so I feel like there's something happening. And if you stretch far enough, you're actually activating from the line of the pinky finger, the line of the thumb, and that's getting into the meridians, pulling on those tendons, those tissues, massaging into the fascia, the connective tissue. And let this be 3, 2, and 1, and let's just shake this one out. Now just stand and see, can you feel a different feeling of energy in this one arm compared to the other? It's incredible. What did we do? Just a couple of minutes. Do you feel this arm is slightly activated? It has more liveliness in it. This other arm is very dull. Just through opening up the connective tissue, breathing into those areas of tension. And again, we become aware of the resistance, and then we allow and let go. So let's start with this other arm. In the beginning, I used to think, what are these slow, boring exercises? This is like, it's like if kindergarten or something, what is going on? And to know, and then you can just freestyle your arm anyway, wherever it feels good. To know the science behind it, the fact that the body is craving the slow, deliberate, repetitive movements, so soothing to the nervous system. That's when the connective tissue, the fascia, is allowed to soften and release, is when we are repeating or holding and nourishing those areas in a very kind and gentle way to the body. We don't always have to put the body under a huge amount of stress for there to be benefit. And then in 3, 2, and 1, let's move in the opposite direction. As long as you're giving it a nice, lovely, long line of movement, and you don't even have to lock out the elbow, you just bring it through. Actually, the intention is so important. If the intention is whatever resistance is in there, may it release and may it flow out, and may my limbs and my joints and my muscles and my organs and every tissue of my body, may it start to perform in the way that is most beneficial for me, then it'll happen. You know, we could even not be doing these exercises. You can think that and it'll happen. So on 3, 2, and 1, make this your last round around and release. And so feel if there's still any tension, just breathe into it, allow it to soften, just soften it. You know, the shoulders are very, very sticky and achy, and the muscles around the shoulders can get very tired. And so that's always an area that we hold a lot of tension and resistance. The next one, we want to do the wrists. We have done wrists like circular before. Now I want to do the up and down. So again, maybe here the feet can be a little wider, and we will have a little bit more of a bend. And we're going to do a slight rise and descending. And what I want you to do is we really want to flex and extend that wrist joint. So as we rise up, we breathe in and really flex. So in anatomy, we call this flexing, right? And this is extending. And I used to think this was flexing, but I got so confused when I was doing my exams. So we flex the hands up and make sure that you feel that beautiful stretch in the top of the wrist. And then we extend down and breathe out. And again, this beautiful wave-like motion of the body. Whenever the body, we are mimicking what happens in nature, there's an X factor there. There's something magical that happens. You can close your eyes and turn this into a moving meditation and breath work. Breathe in, rise up, tension in the wrist. And tension meaning stretching the wrist. The elbows are soft, and then the body rises up and down. Again, all of these signals that are coming from the body, through the tissue, through the fascia. It's really replenishing into the mind and the emotions. And let's do 3 more. 1, breathe in, breathe out. 2 more, breathe in, breathe out. Last one. And then we gently bring the hands to the side, shake it out. And again, now feel for how bit by bit, slowly and slowly, is that resistance, that tension melting away, you know, from the top of the head. We're going down the body. I'm not putting words in your mouth, just feel what you feel. There may still be tension, and that's fine. Noticing it is the first step. Okay, so we'll go into our hip circles. Again, wider, so wider than hips distance apart. And you can make a 45-degree angle with the feet, or they can be forward. And we're, you know, this one, I think I told you last week that my teacher said 36 times, if you do 36 circles both ways every day, and you've got back trouble, it's supposed to be like a very nourishing practice. I'm not counting, so I don't know. 6, 7, 8. We'll do 18, 16. No, 18. Yeah. 11, 12. Just again, breathe into it and feel into the hips. And in 3, 2, and 1, gently reverse. And then when we bring the mind out of the head and all the thoughts and all the to-do lists and all the anxiety and the rumination, and we bring the mind into the joints. So what's the hips doing? What are the knees doing? The ankles and the feet. The feet almost want to lift up and make a circle themselves, and that's all good because we're kind of massaging the bottom of the feet, right? And we'll end in 3, 2, and 1, and gently release. And we'll come into our knee circles, cupping the knees. And again, I always say, if that's too much for your lower back, keep up here and do the knees. You can be anywhere along this spectrum. As long as the knees are moving in a circular motion. And you know, if you cup the knees, then you can feel oftentimes that warmth from the palms, and that's another added nourishment to the kneecaps, to that joint. Can be a very problematic joint as we get older, not very much load bearing. And then in 3, 2, and 1, very slowly go the other way. I have to admit, I'm not that good at keeping up in counting. I think I can't do 2 things at once, talk to you guys and then count. So either I count or I talk. I'm intuitively starting and stopping until it feels good. A lot of what happens in qigong is you continue to do something until it feels like there's a release, or you feel different. And you're like, oh, okay, I didn't have to count. I feel good now. And gently, we'll do that bending and stretching that we always do. So if you just want to go high, but please contract the abdominal muscles so that you're not loading your lower back. And stretch as far as you can. And any amount of stretch is good. If you want to go all the way, you know, down, or if you want to keep it high up, it's all good. And if you want to sit in a more of a seat, or you just want to keep it shallow, as long as the abs are engaged, it's all good. And in 3, 2, and 1, and let's stay down and bend the knees and push up through the heels of the feet and keep the back rounded until we come up. Shake it out and breathe. Okay, so let's do our lung clearing and nourishing. So we've opened up the channels, we've opened up the joints. That is very important, that we have to open that, because that's where the energy can get stuck. So we've cleared the joints and some of the whole of the body, and now we're going to do lung clearing. And so lungs belongs to autumn, and so I thought that was a good thing to do today. And releasing and letting go, autumn, that's kind of cool because the leaves are falling from the trees. So I thought that was a lovely way to start. And today is a very autumn kind of day. So for the lungs, the sound, we have an upper lobe and a lower lobe. So the upper lobe sound is like a snake, and you kind of feel it reverberating here. And the lower lobes is the shh. So So when you do sh, you can feel it in lower in your lungs, and when you do s, you can feel it higher in your lungs. And so we've done that. Remember, we used to do the shh. And so this is a different exercise, but we, depending on when you want to clear the lower or the upper, we're going to do both. And I think, just looking at the time, we'll probably do 3 each. It's incredible how much energy gets moved when we are actually doing mindful breath work, sound, and movement with the intention of clearing the organs. And so I really suggest that after this, hydrate as much as possible and keep nourishing yourself in any way that you can. Normally, we can do 3 repetitions. We can do 9, 18, 36. I think today we'll do 3, because I felt when I was learning this that my energy moved so much. I had no energy afterwards. I mean, not in that sense, but it was very depleting because I was doing 4 hours of training. And so I don't want too much energy to move today. So for the lungs, what we do is make sure we've got a very stable base. And so you get into a stance where, nothing's going to move you around. And then we do something called holding up the heavens. So the move here is we're going to cock our wrists like this, and the activation is in the index and the thumb, and so they want to be nice and activated. And then we breathe up and we pull up, and so we're pulling up and holding up the heavens. Right, before we used to pull down the heavens, this is holding up the heavens. And one thing I just want to show you, when you do it, we lift the sternum, but we do not arch the back, so we're loading the lower back. We keep the tailbone a little neutral, so not this, just keep the tailbone neutral. So see the difference of me lifting my sternum and nothing is moving, or arching the back. We're not arching the back, we're just lifting the sternum, engaging the abs so that the lower back is protected. And so we breathe in and we're holding up the heavens, and then we bring our arms down horizontally with a sound. So, and then we hold up the heavens again. Hold up the heavens again. And now the next 3 will be a sh sound. And now release. So when we release from the lungs, we're releasing grief and sadness. And I was a little hesitant. I don't know. I get very teary when this happens. Like, I'm not sure. The lungs are a very powerful organ. And I know for a fact that when there's grief, when there's sadness, the lungs can carry, like you can sometimes get congestion or whatever it might be. So I don't know. This is a first for me, because I'm also feeling like there's some emotions welling up. But feel free to feel all the feels. And if, again, the tissues are there if you need them. So let's now do 2 rounds, like a round of s and a round of sh, and maybe feel like if there's any grief or sadness that comes up, just let it go. Let it go out through the palms, through the feet, through the breath, down into the earth. The earth will absorb it and we will make space. So let's do one more round of this. And now the sh sound. And gently let the hands float back. Let's just stand in Wuji for a few moments with the eyes closed. Maybe something came up, it didn't. I didn't let myself feel. I was a little bit on guard, have to be transparent. when I wasn't thinking about it, it was welling up, and then it's all good. No forcing, no pressure, but you may feel through the rest of the day or maybe later in the week, something may come up and there may be a release, or there may not, and it's all good. We just have to learn to be kind and gentle with ourselves. Don't want to force anything that's not ready to come out. And release. So now we've cleared the lungs. We've cleared out the lungs, we've made space, and now we're going to nourish. So the nourishing is very simple, and it's almost like, how does this work? It works, okay? So let me just put it that way. And so for here, we're still activating the thumb and the index finger, and we're bringing our hands forward. It's almost, I don't know, I feel like this is like a supplication or an offering or something. And so the breath is, and there's no sound here, it's just in, really open up the chest and out. And again, we're making a slight wave with the body. So we're kind of coming forward gently, opening the chest, breathe in. And as we exhale, we're coming out. And so when we inhale, we're gathering that beautiful energy from all around us. And as we exhale, we're storing it in the lungs. So we bring in from the trees, from the leaves, from the earth, and we store it in the lungs. We breathe in. We're activating the back muscles here. So the shoulders are pinching in and the shoulders are moving away. The shoulder blades come in together as we move out, and the shoulder blades move apart. We're kind of making a C shape with the back. Breathe in to gather. Breathe out to store. And there's this lovely kind of fluid movement with the body. Just, you almost can feel into it intuitively. We're still activating the arms, and actually the elbows can be a little soft if you like. So let's just breathe in, and we're breathing in a beautiful bright white light into the lungs, nourishing, soothing. Go at your own pace. Rise up, breathe in, stretch out the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades. Breathe out and store that white light into the lungs. That sense of renewal, replenishment. We'll just do a few more of these. The arms do get fatigued. 2 more. 1 more. In. And then let's just gently bring the hands down, back to Wuji, back to noticing. Releasing whatever no longer serves us, and then replenishing with that beautiful bright white light. And at the same time, hopefully we don't feel depleted, we feel replenished. And release. So let's go into harmonizing now. So for harmonizing, we're bringing everything together. So there's a balance, so that the cleansing happened, the space was made, we've nourished, and now we just want to leave today with a sense of alignment, centering, and a balanced feeling as we leave. So this is close to pulling down heavens, but it's a little different, and I can't remember the name of this, I'm sorry. I'll just show you one time. I'm going to drink some tea before I do the meditation because my throat's a little hoarse. So for this, we bring the hands up and come up, and then we stack the palms as though the energy, we're condensing the energy down through the crown of the head into the body, condense, 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 and then we bring it down to the lower dantian and we seal it in. So we're sealing it in as we bring our hands like this. So let's breathe up, come up, look up, flip the palms, bring that sky energy, and bring one palm on top of each other with a space, and feel like that energy is condensing down into the body, down through the front of the body, into all the tissues, down, and we're sealing it into that lower energy center, and then we're bringing it the hands back down, and then we rise up, bring the earth energy up through the feet, and then we can swap hands, bring one hand over the other, bring the energy and mindfully bring it through the back of the body, down into the lower dantian, and seal it, store it. And the last one, we come up, earth energy, rise up, flip up, stack the palms, press and condense that beautiful life force energy into the central channel, down the front, down the back, down the center, and seal it down here and release. And now to see how that feels. It's almost like, I don't know about you, I can tell you my experience. I feel quite whole. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I am me. And whatever was polluting my thoughts or my body or my intentions slowly faded away, trickled away. And let's do one last centering, which I like to do is the two hemispheres of the brain and the body. So palm on palm with a gap, cupping, going from the bottom, rising up and bringing that feeling of centeredness down through the body. And then we take the other hand up. And the intention is balance, it's wholeness. Breathe through it, meditate on the hand movement, on the breath, on the feeling of the two hemispheres meeting, balancing. We'll do one more either side. One last one on that side. Just come, once you've completed both sides, just come to rest here and release. And we'll do one pull down heaven. So rise up, look up, bring that sky energy down through the body, into the cells, into the tissues, into the bloodstream, down through the feet, back down to the earth. And let's release here. So we get ready to go down into our meditation position. So just gently, however it's comfortable for you to come down to your knees and down to the floor. If you need a prop under your hips, under your thighs, or if you prefer to keep your feet on the ground and your knees high up, it's your choice. If you need to sit on a chair, sit on a chair. But we're coming down so that from the tailbone to the head is nice and firm on the ground, but we're melting in. Arms along by the side, palms facing up, hands by the hips. And so there's a couple of different ways you can put your feet. And if you want to use a prop or not use a prop. The first few moments are just wriggling around, getting nice and comfy. I forgot to tell you that if you feel your blood temperature sometimes drops, so now it's getting cooler, you may want to keep something warm nearby. And I'm just going to turn the lights off as you get comfortable and as you get, I'm going to try and close these. They don't always work. So just soften and bring the weight down from the bottom of the body. This one's not coming. That's not coming, sorry. Softening, releasing. Just a very gentle feeling from the crown of the head down to the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes, softening, releasing. Gentle breath. So when we discuss the theme of letting go or surrendering, the idea is that we don't need to be perfect. We don't need to ensure that when we meditate, our mind is free of thoughts or distractions. We just notice those thoughts, notice those distractions, and then bring the attention back to the breath, to my words, to the body, and just know that it's completely fine if you get distracted. Surrender doesn't have to be perfect. Doing your best is enough. And that's another form of releasing resistance. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Now bring your attention to your eyes. Imagine a thick cloud of deep, relaxing mist is spreading from inside the eyelids. Beautiful, fluffy clouds floating down through your mind. The beautiful white fluffy cloud expands, covers your entire body from the inside. That cloud brings softness, lightness, ease to the head, to the neck, to the face, the shoulders. So bring your awareness to your right shoulder and slowly down your right arm. Allow that cloud to soften, cocoon that right shoulder, the right arm and hand. Bring your attention to your left shoulder, moving down. Feel any tension release. Allow that fluffy cloud to soften and soothe. Now imagine the cloud trailing down your upper back, tracing your spine all the way to your tailbone. Allow that beautiful white fluffy cloud to soften the back, soften the chest, the abdomen, the hips. It's like it's marshmallow. Beautiful, soft and light. Bring your awareness to your left leg, move down to the left hip, the left thigh, knee, calf and ankle. Soft as marshmallow. Down to the right hip, thigh, knee, calf and ankle, softening. The feet and the toes are supple and soft, engulfed with that cloud. And as your muscles release, feel the cloud come to rest in the center of your chest, bringing steadiness to your breath, filling the heart space with light and joy, making space for surrender, making space to allow, to receive. We breathe in steadiness, peacefulness, and ease. A few moments of silence. Gently, gently come back to the breath, to the body. Get some movement in the fingers, toes, wrists, the ankles. Gently move the head from side to side. Now bring our arms overhead flat onto the floor, palms facing up, and let's do a full body stretch. Just a gentle lengthening from the tips of the toes to the tips of the fingers, breathing through it, mindful of the lower back. Just stretch through and gently release. And now keep the right arm up there and bring the knees into the chest and turn to the right side. So we're in a fetal position. And the cheek is resting on the upper arm. A few moments of integration on our side. Very nourishing, soothing pose. And as we lay here, we soften and allow for kindness, care, and concern to fill our hearts. And we gently press ourselves up very slowly to a seated position. Take your time. Get comfortable. We root down through the lower half of the body and allow the spine to be long. We'll do one pull down heavens. So the hands come to the side of the body. We lift up, flip up, look up. Bring that beautiful sky, heavenly energy, shower ourselves with love and light and healing, joy and beauty. And we bring our hands palm on palm onto the chest, bow our heads in reverence of the practice today. We've really made a lot of space to allow for whatever it is that we need in the mind, the body, and the emotions, and the spirit, whatever that may be for you. The love, the light, the beauty and joy in me sees and honors the love, the light, the beauty and joy in you. Thank you for practicing with me today. We are now complete. And so next week will be the last of the 6 series, and it will be practicing radiating love and light and joy and beauty, just to bring it all in on our Radiance Wellbeing journey. And I wanted to let the people at home know that I'll be taking a break on the 13th of October, and then look out for a new series, hopefully starting on the 20th of October, and potentially starting at 10 a.m, a new start time. And we'll hopefully go up till Thanksgiving for that one. So thank you all for joining me. Look forward to seeing you all next week. And again, this week's practice is just become aware of the resistance, soften, and allow it to release out into the earth, maybe with a breath, with a sigh, with some movement. But notice what's happening, what's coming up for you in your body and your mind and emotions, and see if that, even just one time, if you can notice and release, it's all good. Okay, thank you. Stop recording. Oh.